All right, so welcome, guys. I hope the assignment was not too bad, and I hope you didn't lose your mind. But I'll share some of the work that I've received, and then we'll go over it together. Once I share my screen, let me know whose assignment it is, and let's have a conversation about it. Are we good? All right, all right, all right. Whose work is this? Whose work is this? Mary, this is your work, yeah? Is Mary online? Okay, Mary is not online. Okay. Whose work is this? Ebo, this is your work, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so tell me about your work. What design movement is this?
Grunge.
Grunge. Aha. And why did you what informed the elements that you used?
From the notes, I
Yeah.
think the text, let me open it. Text are not so clear.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So, and that's like the main text, the heading.
Okay.
So, and then where that the yellow part,
Yeah.
I got it under elements,
Yeah.
grunge. So I just combined some things to just bring and then the background design, grainy, or I don't know, I've forgotten the term you
Yeah,
use.
a lot of darkness as well.
Yeah, yes, darkness.
Okay, so this is really good. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. So well, the okay, so let's move on to the next one. So which is this?
I've forgotten. I'm trying. I'm opening the notes. I wrote. What did I write there myself? I'm coming. Let me get the.
Okay.
No, not psychedelic.
Definitely not psychedelic.
Postmodern.
Postmodern, yeah.
Yes.
So I think one of the other interesting things that you would have added to make it look more postmodern is the background isn't really postmodern enough, right? And I like the way you arrange your texts, very, very postmodernish, okay? And I like the different colors, but it would have been great if you had extra, because a lot of postmodern designs had a lot of blue, red, a lot of the primary colors, blue, red, yellow, right? But here is majorly yellow, so it would have been nice to see some red, it would be nice to see some blue, right? But all around, this looks pretty postmodernish, right? And it's a really good attempt. Well done. How about this?
Minimalist.
Minimalist. Nice, obviously minimalist. So there's two ways I want you to look at this, okay? Okay, let me go over everything before I make the remarks I want to make. And how about this? Come again. Psychedelic. Nice, nice. It actually looks it actually really looks psychedelic to very
the text is not meant to be readable actually.
Yeah.
Because that's not one of the characteristics.
Yeah, it is. So it's interesting. I like your take at a lot of these. And you notice many of the, so for example, if you observe very, very easily, you'd realize that a lot of the design principles and stuff that I've been teaching you personally, a lot of times they fall into the minimalist style, because that's where you have a lot of sans fonts, then you have a lot of nice space, you also have a lot of very proper alignment, center, left, right. You also have you know, it just looks very sane and clean. And for example, like it's obvious that you did all the things that you did on purpose. For example, here where the texts are very close to the edge, and here it's not that close to the edge because it's a different style entirely. So I can see that you did really know what you were doing and was very intentional. Okay. So this is just a very interesting exercise to help you see how you can interpret designs in many very different ways. Okay, so when you have a design to do, you don't necessarily have to always be minimalist. Also, depending on who your artist is. For example, if I was designing something for cavemen, how many of you know cavemen? Anybody knows cavemen?
I do.
Okay, so well, if you know the cavemen, right, I'm definitely not going to do anything minimalist because that's not their style. Do you get? So you also want to, I'm also opening you up to the idea of actually designing for people who actually have a different style from what you're used to. Okay, so if you're used to designing minimalist for most of your clients, it doesn't mean that every single client you are designing for would need a minimalist design. Sometimes they will need a geometric futurism style. Some might need a postmodernism style, you know, so depending on those things. But I want you to just get familiar with the fact that you can have a poster design and have it in many very different ways, right? Also, another thing that I thought would have been nice for this postmodern would be to have some of the texts with a background. So for example, you know how, let me duplicate this just to give you an idea. You know how sometimes it felt like a collage, right? And while we are doing these things, it does not mean we throw away the elements of design out of the window, right? In the sense that there's still going to be a huge amount of the principles of design in play. For example, Kokumo. So here it looks like Never Die Gang Kokumo, right? Meanwhile, there should be some form of minor hierarchy, even with the manipulation of the different styles. Okay, so I would expect something that looks like that has some variation. When I say variation, I mean like making it obvious that one is the title and then the other one is the name of the artist. Okay. Someone's mic is on. John. All right. So as very, very odd as many of the design styles seem to be, there's still a huge element of the principles of design in application for most of those designs. Okay, so I'm still expecting to see a lot of that. All right, and also obviously here you can see the arrangement of the text, very postmodernish, but also I want to see a little more of some nice hierarchy, right? So Kokumo is like the name of the artist, right? Never Die Gang is the name of the album. Obviously, these two should be larger in comparison to all of this. But here it looks like all of this is much larger than these two. Do you get? So while you're playing around with the different elements, you still need to focus on the hierarchy, ensuring that the most important information is still the biggest information, while the, you know, the lesser informations are obviously smaller. Okay. Do you understand what I just explained? Let me know if you got what I was explaining.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Any questions based on what I just said or any other thing that might have transpired before now? Okay, cool, no questions. So, yeah. Oh, what style is this? Okay. Well,
Punk. Yeah, punk.
yeah, I can see the punkness in it. So yeah, but except this part doesn't look punkish, right? This is obviously like, I feel like you're already getting tired. Or were you not?
Right.
So, all right. If you want to work with a style, you need to stay true to the style all through, right? So it might be difficult, but it's the purpose of the design. Okay. Now, another thing that I also want you to look at is, irrespective of the style, it must still be very obvious that it's a music related event. Okay, so I need some of those elements. What elements are you adding into your design? Like, it's not just a design that says, oh, this is impressionism, oh, this is futurism, oh, this is Swiss international style. I want people to say, oh, this is an album launch poster in Swiss style. Do you get? It must be very obvious that it's an album launch. Okay, so for example, in this design now, right, what elements do you have here that speak to the musicness of the event? Okay, let's just say none, because I can't see any. Okay, so I still expect some of those elements, right, to be present, no matter how subtle, no matter how, right, I expect those elements to be present. All right, here also, Kokomo, Never Die Gang, right? I feel like I can see the sky, but there's nothing about this that says music, okay? And obviously, not every poster exactly has to like say music, right, verbatim, but for the purpose of the assignment, right, it would have been nice for it to do that, okay? Yeah, obviously, you can tell that this is a music concert because imagine that Kokomo is a saxophonist and stuff, okay? So, yeah. But this is a good attempt. Well done. Thank you so much. Next, whose work is this? Imran, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. That's fine.
All right, so take me through your work. What style is this?
This is grunge.
This is grunge as well.
Yes, grunge.
Okay, so what elements informed how did you come to the decision to make this composition based on the different elements that you used?
Well, based on what I saw, I think this is what fits grunge the most. I mean, grunge, it featured like torn photographs, so I tried to incorporate that into the design.
Yeah.
The style is it's something that is not easy to read. Etc.
Come again.
The texts are not easy to read from the
Yeah.
information that you give us, so I try
Yeah.
to make them as
And yeah,
simple
I
as
can also
possible.
obviously see the dirty texture, dirty background.
Yeah.
Okay. So well done. This is nice. Another thing, one thing that I also want to make a comment about is the application of the principles of design, obviously, right? And I can see how you applied all the elements here. Very well done, right? Sorry. Okay. Very well done. Sorry, I'm trying to separate the elements. Nice. So you can see the turn image here. Okay, I'm trying to find this as well. Okay, so this is also a turn image as well. Nice. So well done. This has a lot of the elements in the grunge theme, of course. And I can see a lot of death related elements, right, that seem to be alluding to never die, right? So well done. How about this?
I think punk and grunge kind of have this, it's like similar styles. So I just basically almost did the same thing, but I tried to put some elements of punk into the design.
Okay, so I think one of the differences between punk and grunge is that for punk, they're usually predominantly photographic images, right? Here I can see just this image of a punk related person. So even though your design should be in punk, it does not necessarily have to like verbatim say punk in like having a punk picture on the background, because obviously this has very, very little elements to show that it's an album launch or it has anything relating to music. Okay, so what I'll be expecting to see are musical album launch, Never Die Gang related elements in the punk theme. Okay, instead of a transliteration of the punk style, just with the text that I added. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I do.
Jigget. So obviously, what that will mean is who doesn't understand? Who doesn't understand? I'm hearing, was someone asking a question? Okay, nobody. So, right, let me go again over just
I'm sorry, my network. I was the one who said I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, what I was saying is like, instead of a transliteration of the concept of punk, as we have here, so obviously, like I can see this is a punk image because it's a picture that is very popular with the punk style, right? If I delete this, and this very old element, this very treated image, right? And those two images have no correlation to the title of the song, the artist, the purpose of the music. Okay, so even though you are reflecting those different styles, you want to stay true to some characters. So for example, I probably would have been expecting to see like a guitar in a punk style because it's a music event, as opposed to an image of a model that predominantly has a punk vibe around him. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Understand?
I understand.
Exactly. So if it's whatever elements or ideas that you want to incorporate, you should be able to incorporate those ideas or elements in the different styles. Okay, so instead of just saying punk was in punk, oh, this is what punks look like, let me just add everything and make my poster. Do you get? So I expect more of a translation of the elements of your concepts in a punk style. So translate your concepts in a punk style, translate your concepts in a minimalist style. So the concept needs to stay the same. The concept needs to be very obvious, but the style is just the difference in terms of delivery. Do you understand the difference between the concepts and the style of delivery?
I do.
Exactly. It's like lyrics. I can say, I have 10 bags, I have 10 bags. I can say it's in a classical style. I have 10 bags, right? I can say it as a rap, right? But I'm saying the exact same thing, okay? As opposed to rap, if I wanted to express rap, I'll say, what's up, what's up, what's up? If I wanted to do classical, I'll say, ha, ha, ha. Do you get? But I'm saying, what I'm requesting is say the exact same thing, okay? In different styles, obviously not just in terms of the words alone, but in the concept of what you're trying to pass across. Okay, so you need to take a lot of that into consideration. How about this one?
This is postmodern. I tried to get some old images of newspapers and clump them together. I know it kind of looks similar to the punk, but that was not my intention.
Okay, so postmodernist styles usually have much simpler backgrounds in a sense, right? Simpler in a context that, well, not simpler, but they seem to have more clarity. Okay, more clarity and more like, so this that you did here with this text, right, is very postmodernish. This isn't, right, because it's really pretty basic. So I mean, also because there's hierarchy as well, right? Let me just go online, right? Postmodernism. Poster, right? So here, like, and the postmodernist style, how many of you actually like went online to see different styles, different types of what the postmodern style looks like outside what I showed in class? Okay, that's something you should do if you're doing something like this, right? Instead of, like, it's like I said earlier in the class, your job as a designer is not just to design. You actually have a lot of research to do because you want to stay true to the style of what you are applying. Okay, so, and postmodernism as a style has obviously there's a large spectrum. Not everything looks like the sample that I gave, but just to give you a hint of most of the important characteristics. Okay, and so if you look at this, obviously you can see that it's centralized and it has a lot of, but you can see the photography treatments, right? Even though the text here is really pretty basic, the photography treatment here has like a postmodernist vibe. Okay, if you come here, the major characteristics that's postmodernist here is the collage style of, you can see this like a typewriter collage with a building collage, and then this is like a what they call this thing, I don't know what this thing is, was in Spider-Man, I think. Anyways, but whatever that is, right, there's kind of like mixing those different elements in their different scales. Okay, and then you can see the tilting of the text, right? Except this time, this one is not as complex. This one is not as varying as the one in the sample that I gave. Okay. So if you look at this, obviously this is much more different than this, in the sense that the texts are more deconstructed, like just scattered all around the place. Okay. If you see this, something also very similar, right? But you can still tell that this is about digital design. Okay, you can see like the font they use has digital. When you think of digital, this is what it crosses your mind. All right, and they say it's like a painting, and you see they wrote this like an actual painting. All right, and then except the paint never dries, and then you can see like this, it looks like something that is not drying. All right, and then you have an element of a dryer here. So as you are using the style, you are also trying to ensure that you interpret what needs to be interpreted. Okay, so this is also like similar in the postmodernist style as well. Now, what you want to do as a designer with this kind of assignment, right, is go online, get more inspiration. Okay, and I've taught you that, like, when you want to work on a design, you also need to learn how to copy. Okay, and learning how to copy means that you're not going to copy verbatim, but you want to ensure that you are mixing different elements. Okay, different elements, and ensure that so this is this is the exact same design that was in the sample that I showed you online, actually, right? And you can still see, like, here you can see the obvious scattered elements here, right? But here you can still see there's some hierarchy to the amount of information. Here, all the information about the details are under, the main theme is on top, and here is just like random abstract things that are about what the banner is about. Okay. Same thing here. You have the public. The public theater is like Paula Scher's design, right? The public theater is obviously like the biggest thing here. Okay. And then details obviously under, and then just different types of things flying all around there, different types of names and stuff. All right. So when you have this kind of work, what you need to do is actually go online. Now, another thing that I want you to do as a pro tip, when you're designing something like this, obviously you will find quite a number of elements online, right? You need to go online, right? So imagine that I was going to design a music poster and I'm thinking of music. Let me just see what comes up when I do music postmodern, right? Postmodernism. Okay, not a lot of things, obviously, so I need to rephrase my keywords, right? I'll try a different keyword this time. Instead of music, I'll use a musical instrument, guitar. Right? So obviously, I have some postmodernist type images here, right? Now, if we had a more if you had a more elaborate software, you'll probably be able to do much more. But here, we're limited to Canva, so we want to work with the best that we have. So you'll be doing a lot of, so for example, this image, right, is simple. You can just copy it, go online, remove the background. It has a postmodernist vibe to it, right? So let me try and do something postmodernist here really quickly. All right, so I'm going to copy this image, right? I'll go to remove the BG. Okay, so I have to save the image actually. Or even if I don't save it, so I save image, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go here to remove the background. Download, right? So I have my download, right? I'm going to create a new design now. Okay, so I'm already, it's past 10. Let me know if you're really tired and you're saturated, or if I can just go on and finish up this post and we can finish at 10:30. So we can go on. Can we go on?
Yes, David. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so number one, two things are the most important things. Kokomo as the name of the artist, right? And then the name of the album, Never Die Gang, right? Now, obviously, so I'm just going to come into my elements and search for postmodern related items, right? Let me see, not quite a lot of things. So obviously we have to use the internet, okay? And most of them are obviously, so obviously it'd be a good idea to buy the pro, but if you can't buy the pro, you can always go online, right? So let me just do postmodernism elements, right? Now I'm showing you how you can actually go about a design if you had no idea what to do before, okay? Postmodernism design, oh, why, what are all these types? Elements, right? Okay. Obviously, you can see the kind of colors that were used. Yeah, really bright colors. So I'm also going to do something here. I'll do postmodernism poster design, right? Now I'm going to gather inspiration from here, either from one design or two designs or many different designs. Okay, so I'm just going to try and use this and let's see. What can I do here? Number one, you can see how the texts are very scattered, but still you can see that they are scattered, but they still have a vibe to them. Okay, so let me just try and work with this. All right, I'm going to go back to my documents. All right, so let me find a nice text. I can use the sans serif fonts. Okay, so I'm just going to do K, duplicate this, O, duplicate this, K, U, M, and then O is here already, so let's get duplicate again. Right, so let's assume that these are the letters I want to use, right? So what is characteristics? I want you to start to think about it yourself and figure out what I need your help now. So let's design this together, right? What can you see here that you think is worth emulating? Anybody just say something. I want someone to say something.
Yeah, I'm seeing very different weird shapes. Yes.
Different weird shapes on the background, yeah. All
Yes,
right, so let's note that down. Different weird shapes on the background. Any other thing?
Scattered letters.
Scattered letters, right? Scattered letters that still have kind of an arrangement. All right, so you can see style. It's not just scattered, it's scattered. It's scattered, but it still has some form of arrangement. All right, so let's try and work with those two first and then see where we are and then continue moving forward. Okay, are you following so far? Nobody's answering. Are we following so far?
Yes, David, I'm following.
Yes.
I wanted to ask a question from that red poster.
Yeah.
Those letters, are they, is it a font that can produce that, or the person literally individually scattered them and twisted them?
You have to scatter them by yourself and twist them. That's why if you see design I'm doing currently, I wrote every text separately. So I'm going to scatter them by myself. Do you understand? Thelma, did you hear me?
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm adjusting them now.
Yeah.
I'm scattering them, but ensuring that they have the same style. Okay.
Okay.
And they have a form of reading to them, even though they have the same direction in a sense. Okay, even if they are not like the exact same size. All right. Okay, so let's say this is Kokomo, right? I'm trying to adapt something similar to this, right? But instead of doing this exact thing, I did mine going from up to down, right? So I can actually try to do something more similar so you can go around the guitar, okay? So let me just do this so that I can retain some space, okay? And another thing you will observe is big, small, 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 then big, right? But this time I'm not doing the exact same thing. I'm doing big from big, big, big down to small, okay? So you don't have to copy verbatim. You can actually play around with your own stuff and just like make it's kind of like your way of copying without copying. Do you understand? Please let me know if you understand what I just said.
Yes, making the design your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can alter some elements.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need you to pay attention to this because I need you guys to really get this. All right. So this is Kokomo, his name of the artist, right? Now, I want to include some musical elements, right? So I'm going to come here. Okay. So let's say, so now you can see this thing has some modernist vibes already. You can tell, yeah? Look at the colors. All right. These are colors that are very similar with like postmodern style. I'm so sorry. Okay. My charger is here. Right? If you look at this, you can see primary colors very, 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 very vividly used, right? So that's like an element that we can see that is similar to postmodern style, right? Let's assume that this wasn't there, okay? And assume that we wanted to make something by ourselves, all right? So what do we do? Let's say, okay. this will work with a grunge design. You can tell right now, Shay. Please, someone should reply me. Just tell me yes.
Yes.
Right, thank you. Please stay online so you can be replying. Just keep your hand on your mute button. All right, so you're going to be looking at these things. As you're looking at it, your eyes are already telling you which category different types of elements belong to already, because you have an idea of what they look like. Obviously, this is flat minimalist style, right? This can work for a postmodernist style actually because of the colors and the splash. This can also work in a grunge design because of the tiny patterns, right? This can work in a grunge design. This can also work in a grunge design because of the elements. So you're starting to see how different elements can be used in your design based on the style that you're designing with. All right. So I'm just going to find something that has a nice postmodernist vibe to it, right? So let me just click on this. It's going to do some magic recommendations. So you see, it's going to show me other elements that are very similar. So yeah, this is free. So you can tell by the kind of colors. Yeah. So this is also kind of postmodernist. Okay, but because it's music related, all right. So I'm going to bring this out. Okay, so let's play around with this. How can we work with this to ensure that we have something interesting? All right, so let's just bring this down. Let it go over the K, right? Okay, and then we have these two elements. So we can just keep this here. Okay, maybe bring this over the headphone, right? Oh, this looks weird. So let me just remove this. All right, or let me just keep this somewhere. I'll figure out what to do with it. Right now, let me add the page and just move all these elements there. Okay, so let's continue with our inspiration. All right. What was the inspiration, right? So we had really funny shapes on the background, right? That weren't very distracting to the text on top. Okay, so what can we do? First, we need to pick a color for our background. What color are we picking for our background? I'll go with red because it's blood, and blood has to do with death. Okay, so I'll just come to now, because I mean, if Kokomo had a brand and all of that, then we won't have any question about what color to use. Okay, so I'm just going to come here, make it a little darker. Okay. All right, since it's a little darker. Nice. So I'm just going to change the color of my text to what color? Let's say something bright, maybe not necessarily white. I mean, but white will work. But let me even alternate it. So we can alternate it. This can be white. This can be not white. Say gray. Okay. And we'll just have this interesting color scheme. All right. I'm showing you all of this because I really want you to get this assignment right. Okay. All right. So Kokomo is the artist. All right. We want to give some background elements because it looks very clean. All right. So what can we do in the background? Let's look around. We can add some interesting, really weird looking shapes. Yeah. So let's try that. But you know what? Before we do that, let me group this. Okay. This is the name of the artist. Right. Let's just keep it this way. All right. Kokomo. Okay. And then the name of the album is Never Die Gang, right? So obviously this is not going to be easy to do because you have to type every text by yourself. All right. So you are going to have to do the hard work. Okay. Let's see. Duplicate. Okay. No. D
I'm sorry, David.
Yeah.
How are you turning the N into different letters?
Oh, once you duplicate, right, you know this is here. Okay.
Yeah,
Double click and then type it. I.
amazing. All right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. E, never die, right? Then gang. So G, A, N, then duplicate to make your last G. Okay, so this is the name of the album, right? Personally, I would like the name of the album to be on one line. Okay. Or it can be vice versa. Never Die Gang can be the biggest and then Kokomo. But because Kokomo is a new artist, so we're introducing him, right? And it would be a nice place to put his image, right? So let's just find an image of a nice guy. Or okay, so let's do this, right? So I'm going to change these fonts. I don't want to use the exact same fonts because, I mean, when you look at it, you see they didn't always use the exact same type of fonts. Okay, so let's say N. Let's change this to what type of font? I mean, here they used all sans fonts. Here they used all sans fonts. You can see a mix of slab, serif, and stenciled. So this is like a stencil type text. Stencil in the sense that the text is showing in negative space, so we can have some of these elements. Then postmodernism. So mostly, oh yeah, you can also see like sans serif as well. Serif text, serif typeface. Okay, so let us move on and just make this a serif. All right. So let's do, okay, DM serif seems too modern. Okay. So let's do this right now. What we want to do, I want to make some stencil type stencil. So how do I make that? Obviously, I'm going to come to my elements, create a rectangle, right? Why am I having typos? All right. Make the rectangle the shape of my text. All right. So now this is a good time to zoom in so I don't miss out on anything. All right. This is really hard to do on your phone. So if you're using your phone, it's really going to be hard, I assure you. But it's not impossible. It will be hard. So I'm just going to shift this a little. So you can see I've made my first stencil type text, right? So what I can even do is change this, make this bold.
Serif, how did you do it again? I'm sorry. I don't know how you did that.
All right, so I'll do that for R, right? I came to my shape, okay. I'll reduce it into a rectangle, a smaller shape, right? I'll bring the R in front of it, okay. I'll select this to ensure that it covers every part of the shape, okay. And then I'll just twist it a little to make it look, more modernistic-ish. Now I'll change the color of this to black because I want it to blend with the background. Or I'll just make this white, right? And then make this red because the background is red. Okay. So we have my next stencil. Exactly.
Yes.
Did you get that? Yeah. So I'll just group
It
it.
is. Thank you.
So never die gang. So I'm just going to do the next for A. Right. This time I don't even need to stress too much. I'll just duplicate this. Okay. And then change this to A. Okay. And then rotate it. All right. So I can just change the color of it to red, and then the color of the rectangle to, what other color is interesting here? Okay, I've used color gray, right? Or let me use a modern color actually. I'll use this yellow, right? So let me find what color it is. Okay, so I've added it, right? So I'm just going to come here and click the color that I just selected. Okay, so now I have A. All right, so obviously when I write it,
Please
come again,
add color.
come again.
How were you able to add that yellow? How did you copy it into your
Oh, okay, so
colors?
no, I didn't have to copy it. Any color you use automatically adds to your palette. All right, so once I clicked on this and once I clicked on this color, it has added to my palette.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand? Once I click on this now, it has added, even though I just clicked on it to change it, but as long as I clicked on it, it adds to my palette. Let me show you how it works. If I come to elements and I type rules, for example, right? Now, if I bring in a rules that can change the color, okay, so you can see, now I'm going to show you my color palettes now, right? Can you see the red and green I just imported as added? The green,
Okay.
these colors I've added to the color palette.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Exactly. So that's
Yes.
how that's basically what I did. Once I clicked on this, the colors will appear here. As I've deleted it now, those colors have disappeared. Do you get? So I was
I
trying to
get.
get the exact same color that I selected here to be used here. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So never die gang GANG. So I'm just going to reduce the size a little so that it feels. You know, let me just leave this here and see. Right. Just because. Okay. Now, never, NE, okay. V, okay. E, let me reduce this a bit. Never, so let me change the color to the color of the rectangle. To maybe one of the colors that were here. Okay, one of these colors. Okay, DIE. So I'm just going to make this a little small. Turn it a bit. All right, and then let me put this in a stencil. Okay, so I'll just duplicate this and then change this to E. Okay, reduce the size, change the color of the rectangle. I want to make it black. I'll delete this part. Okay, so we have never die and gone. All right. So obviously this is the name of the album, right? Now, because I want to put some extra, so I'm going to group everything together now. All right, let's click. Okay, so I think it's too much to do. All right, so I'm just going to move them together, right? I'm subconsciously trying to align it. But anyways, it doesn't have to be because it's because of the style that we're using. Okay. So when you zoom out, it's already looking weirdish, right? So, the regular postmodernist style. Okay. So I'm going to come back here. And then obviously we'll have our details. So we can just do this. Now you can see the hierarchy showing here. Big text, then small text, small text. Okay. So here I'm just going to add introducing Kokumo. Right, so I'll add introducing here, and then I'm going to use a text that will be INTRODUCING. Right, so I mixed up the type cases just a bit, right? Now I'm going to give this a stencil. I'm going to put a stencil behind this, right, to make it look like I pasted it. You know, postmodernism has a lot of collages related items, so I'm just going to do that for this. All right. Or you know what? I'll just keep it in the same type font, right? And then I'll put a rectangle behind it to make it look like a stencil. Okay, so I'm going to come to my shapes, elements, and rectangle. All right, come to my rectangle. Let me know if you're lost. Let me know if I need to find you. Let me know if you're following me. Let me know if you're understanding. How is it going? Right, so I'm just going to change this to red, obviously, because that's the color of the background. Okay, now I'm just going to turn this a little so it looks like a proper collage. And in case I want to do a little extra in terms of making it look like a collage, I can I can duplicate this, right, and add a background, right? So imagine this, I just change the color to black, okay? And then I bring this down, right? So we have these 3 elements, right? Okay, so I'm just going to take this to the lower layer, sorry, so that doesn't distract me when I'm clicking on different things, okay? 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm going to group them and rotate, okay? And what I can even slap it over this base, right? Over the guitar. Now, I think I want to introducing Kokomo, right? So I'm going to bring this up a bit, okay? All right, I'll reduce this, okay? Introducing Kokomo, right? Never Die Gang, right? The album launch. So I can just duplicate this, all right? Let's assume this will be like my what do they call that thing? The thing that just says what it is, right? So I'll just write the album launch, okay? So now I have to ungroup this, okay, and stretch this out so that I can contain all the text, right? And let me know if you're following, let me know if I've lost you, let me know if you understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing, or if you don't just know what's happening here. Okay, so this time I want to change the color of this to black and then the background to yellow, just because, right? I don't have any like technical reason for doing that. Well, the reason why I would have kept it the same color is just for uniformity, right? But let's see if it will be necessary. So I'm just going to look at it and use my eyes to see if I think I need to change it back, okay? Okay, I think I do actually. Except I change the color of this to white and then see if it's clearer. Because it wasn't clear. Okay, so I think this works. All right. Introducing Kokomo, the album launch. Never Die Gang, right? Is the name of the album. Okay. And I feel like these black texts have a way of not showing very clearly. So I want to change the color of the text to yellow. Okay, so that it's conspicuous. The same thing for this. Okay. I'll change the color of this text to white as well. Okay, and maybe this V, I'll change this to yellow. Just, yeah, just to give it a little twist. Okay. Now, yeah, so now I'm going to bring this down so that, or what I can do is I can just put a brush behind this. Although brushes don't seem to be popular with this style. So what I'll do is I'll just create a shape at the back, like a rectangle, right? Just to make this, just to make this feel bolder or more, to draw more attention to it, because it's an important part of the design, okay, because it's the title of the album, right? So I'm just going to change the color of this to black and then give it an opacity. Although opacity doesn't seem like one of the characteristics of the postmodernist style, right? So I'm just going to change the color to, well, okay, so now the opacity is just trying to achieve, imagine me creating a darker color behind this, right? So that's the point of the opacity, all right? So let's say I'm going to do this up here and here as well, just so that it gives that feel, gives it the feel of direction, right? You know how the text feels like it's moving, okay? Right, so introducing Kokomo, the album launch, Never Die Gang, right? Group, I'll bring this down, right? Now, so I have my major details: Kokomo, the name of the artist, the album launch, the title of the album. What else? Details about the brand. All right. Because of time, I don't want to. It's already 10:30, so I don't want to move too fast. I don't want to go too far, right? But you have an idea. So now, I think what I'll just need to do is do a little adjustment of the background, like insert some shapes and make it more less plain, right? Less plain. So what do? I'll use, now you see what this feels like. This feels like a different color entirely, right? So one way I'll try to achieve that, I'll try to use opacity. I'll use a white color and a dark color to just make it look darker and brighter. If it doesn't work out, then I'll try to use a different color entirely. All right, so sometimes you might try one thing and it doesn't work out, try another thing. All right, so I'll try to use a rectangle, right? So it's a rectangle tool, okay? And I'll merge it with a triangle, okay? I'll merge with a triangle to achieve a trapezoid. Is that not the name of the shape? Trapezium. Hey, it's a trapezoid. Trapezium. All right. So good. Aligned. Now look sharp. Okay. I'm just going to group them together, right? So let me try and work with this shape. Okay. I'll put this somewhere at the background, change the color to black. All right. Change the color of this also to black. Reduce the opacity to this. All right. I think it's better with a different color. This will work. I can tell already. So I'm just going to change the color. I'll come here and try to find something, something that works with this background but doesn't distract the text above it. Okay, so this is like kind of like a variation of this color, or I'll just go up a little in the color scheme and change the color. Can you see what I'm doing? Not too far. It's kind of like an analogous vibe. Remember the three analogous colors, colors that are side by side on the color wheel. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and change this color to the new color selected, which is this. Okay, right. So I'm just going to create the shape on the background, right, and then take it to the back. All right. Now the shape is hanging there. Okay. It's not distracting the text. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what button did you press to take it to the back?
Command. I explained this in one of these classes. I can't remember the name of this. See, if you want to find the buttons, I've shown you before. Go to right click, right? You see, these are the shortcuts. Can you see it?
Okay.
So this is what I press to bring it. Can you see it?
Yeah, done.
Okay.
Good. So that's the command and greater than. I mean, bracket close. Shift command and then bracket close to bring it to the front. I mean, yeah, so that's it basically, right? So I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, and then rotate it. reduce the size. Okay, bring this somewhere down. I'll take it back, obviously, right? And then I'll change the color this time to something darker. Okay. Right, like I don't want something that's going to distract the text, obviously. So I'll come to the second shape and change the color as well. Okay, so there you go, right? So duplicate this, okay, just to put something here because this place looks kind of plain, right? And then there we go, right? So our background is a little more, looking more interesting than it was before, all right? Now, all I need to do is just add the details for the text. I mean, it can be organized in a simple way, just like I sent on the group, okay? And also just going back to our reference design and just trying to be sure that we are still on course-ish, all right? So, I mean, if you like, you can actually bring the whole design into Canva and be monitoring from there, all right? Just because you don't want to miss out on anything, all right? So instead of these complex shapes, I use the trapezium, okay? So that's kind of like how to copy without exactly copying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, you do, all right? So basically, I just recreated this design. Obviously, it's a postmodernist style design with the same design, right? Keeping my, you can see the hierarchy very clearly. You can see the text, the contrast is still really clean. You can see the play on shapes and sizes, on elements, on colors, postmodern colors, right? And then I want to add another image, another collage image of an instrument. Let me use a keyboard this time, right? Interesting, this doesn't work, right? So I'm just going to go keyboard, right? Oh, piano, sorry. Right, so now I'm going to find an image that is similar to what I'm looking for. So something like this, right? I'm going to copy it. No, I'll save it. I'll save it. Okay, so the problem with this image now, it has 3D effects, which is not the style of. Well, it kind of does. Well, it's a real image, so it might actually work. So yeah, this is more like something that will work, an actual picture of an actual piano. Right, so I'll save this image. I'll come into my design. Okay, I will find the image, insert it. So you can see that the style of this image is kind of similar to the style of the previous one. Okay, and it obviously looks like a collage, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make it look like a collage by creating a rectangle around it to look like we pasted it and dropped it on it. Okay, so rectangle, right? Rotate, obviously, right? Bring this down. Remember the key, and then drag this to just cover it in some way, and then rotate it just to make it look a little bit quirky, and then change the color to black. And yeah, so here we can just have all our details. Okay, so obvious album launch because it's recent album launch, Kokomo. Imagine we had a picture of Kokomo himself. We could have just put one. Let me see if we can even find a picture of an artist, musician. Right? This guy looks too nice for the vibe that we are giving, but I mean, it's not bad. So let's just say, let's use this. I like this, it's really cute, right? So where can I find this picture? So long story. So let's find, okay, this image is too. Okay, so let's assume Kokomo is a saxophonist, right? So we save image as, right, downloads, come back to Canva. Come again. Someone said something.
Like, and it's not like.
Okay, so the image didn't download. I'll try a different one entirely. So let's download this one. Okay, so I'll go back to Canva. All right, select this, import this, and then obviously make this like a collage type image by adding like a rectangle behind it. All right, and then adjusting it, take it behind the image. Okay, change the color of this. I want to use a yellow thing behind this one, right? And then good. So I'm just going to adjust this, right, and rotate this. Okay. Well, not so much, just a little. Okay. And then select this, group them, reduce it, right? So bring this down, up, sorry. Right, so let's assume this is an image of a musician. So, right, so it has like all the modernist vibes. So obviously it has come behind the shape, so I'm just going to bring this back. Right. So yeah, there we go. We have our Kokomo, the album launch, that down. So I'm just going to add on my details here. Because of time, I won't go into that. I'll probably do it later and then post it and show you what it looks like. Right. But because of time, let me know if you understand how this worked. Let me know if it was understandable and you have an idea what it feels like or what it means to adapt a design.
Yes, David, I understand. Very enlightening.
Very good. Thank you. So what I'm going to do for this weekend assignment is I'm going to give you 5 posters, right? If you haven't done the previous Kokomo designs, you are just piling up assignment for yourself. So please do it. This time I'm going to give you 5 posters to adapt. All right. So I'm giving you the actual poster design and I want you to adapt it. All right. Many people haven't sent in their logo designs yet, so it's difficult for us to move on with the brand identity guide. So I hope you work on that during this weekend. All right. Let me know if the assignment is clear. I will share the designs I want you to adapt on the group. I will send you the details of the poster I want you to adapt the new designs I'm giving you to. All right. You can ask questions about the assignment if you're not clear now. All right, Fulu.
Sorry, I wanted to find out the picture you used last. Was that the picture of the artist, like the Kokomo, supposed Kokomo there?
No. That's oh no, that's not his real picture. His real picture is on Instagram. Let me show you.
Get me a picture. I wanted to find out if because my reason was if it's part of the design, maybe I mean the background that might be all right, but if it's supposed to be used as one of the artists, like more.
Okay, so this is the actual guy, right? So if you want to, you can find his pictures and use right for your design. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
Oh, really? The person is real?
Yeah, the person is real. He's a real person. He's a rapper too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he raps. Yeah, so Instagram was asking to log in to continue. So I mean, I gave you an Instagram handle. So yeah, that's the real Instagram handle. So you can check it out. But yeah, he's a real person basically. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
okay, cool. Any other question? Do you understand the assignment thing? Let me explain it again. The assignment is I will send 5 poster designs on the WhatsApp group. I want you to create a new design that will be adapted from the design that I'm sending you. But I'll send you the details of the new design. I want you to adapt the designs I'm sending you to. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody understands?
Yeah.
All right, so we can call it a day.
Yeah.
Any questions before we proceed? Does anybody not understand? Does everybody have any questions? Don't forget, you still have like one-on-one time that you can reach out to me if you have anything. So feel free when you feel like. Yeah, so I think we've come to the end of today's class. Thank you guys for waiting. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your kindness.
Sorry, I want to one
Thank you.
consultation time with you.
Yeah,
Deadline for you.
yeah. By the end of this month, it's over. Starting a new batch next month. So there's a deadline.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So feel free when you can to reach out and let's make this happen. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to share your
Thank
work
you.
because I said you're going to do like a before and after. So obviously, we're going to do this assignment like in 1 week, and then you'll see how far you've come as a designer. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Have an amazing
Thank you.
weekend. God bless you.
Good night.
Good night.